Okay, so we've got another radical equation. So first step in solving a radical equation, can you guys remind me?
Isolate the root.
Isolate the root, which is already done here, right? So it's tempting to skip that. Okay, so since the root is already isolated, what's the second step?
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Power of 2.
Square both sides, right? So square both sides. And I'm going to square both sides and just write down the consequences because I want to keep the original problem up, okay? So if you square the left-hand side, what happens?
Becomes 6x plus 12.
Cancels out. On the right-hand side, if you square it,
1/4 x squared plus 6x take away 6.
No.
No, not 6. Never mind. Looking out the
I'm not sure.
No,
so
it's
maybe
plus
I should-
3x
Plus 3x, yeah.
plus 9.
Plus 9.
I agree with that, yes. So let me show that for anybody who's watching. So we've got 1/2 x plus 3. 1/2 x plus 3. So we've got a 4th x squared there. 3/2 x, and another 3/2 x is 6/2 x. That's 3x
Okay.
plus 9. Okay, so now we've got a parabolic equation. Things that are quadratic or parabolas, we always have to set to 0. So I'm going to set this side to 0, move that stuff this way. So subtract 6x in both spots. You'll get negative 3x. Subtract 12 in both spots. You'll get 3. So there's one version, not the only version, of the correct parabola that you've got to solve. So you can use the quadratic formula right now because I don't want to factor this because there's like a 1/4 there. I'm going to try to get rid of that 1/4 and not have any fractions. This is something we'll use in other areas soon. How can you get rid of that 1/4? Multiply everything by 4 on both sides. That's a smart plan. So let's do that. We're going to have to distribute it all the way across the right-hand side. So 0 here, cancels out 12 and 12. Right? So you could check, see if that factors. I don't think it does though, because 12, 6 and 2 going to give you negative 12. 3 and 4. 12 and 1, you might be tempted. So you could say, well, maybe 12 times negative 1, that adds up to 11. Negative 12 times 1 adds up to negative 11. I don't think this is factorable. So we've got to go to the quadratic formula. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say the answer's output by the formula x. Or how's it go? Negative b, so 12 plus or minus b squared's 144. 4 times 1 times negative 12. And a is 1, so it's just 2. So I'm going to simplify. I see a negative and a negative, so that's a positive 48. Let's see, 144 plus 48, that's like plus 50, that'd be 194, so 192. And then can you guys with your calculator figure those out for me? Give me the decimals, because I don't think the square root of 192 is friendly. Closest square number would be 196. That is 16 or something squared, something like that. So what do we get for this?
13.85640646.
856. For one of them, okay.
Oh, that's just the square root of 192.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'll do it up here too, so you guys can follow along with me if you like.
Probably should.
Let's see, 12 plus,
Alright, I found the root.
divide by 2. So there's one answer. And then 12 minus, divide by 2. There's the other answer. Okay. 2 answers there. It's like 12.928, 0, negative 0.928. Okay, so the question is, are those both answers or not? Based on what we did yesterday, usually one of them was, one was right, one wasn't, right? So you could check them a couple different ways. What are the ways we could check them?
Throw it back in.
Throw it back in. These are decimals. That'll be a little bit of a pain, but I don't know. It's pretty simple.
With a calculator.
Or you could, I heard, draw a graph. So we could also use our calculator to graph it. So let's do it a couple ways. I want you guys thinking like this. So one way to really practice your skills, I don't care how you check these, but it's very important to at least be able to graph these two things. We should be able to graph both those without our calculator. There's a line, there's a square root. They're both pretty simple ones. So let's just see if we can get rid of one or both of those by just eyeballing it. We'll just sketch it, okay? So this guy's a line. Where should I start to graph my line? 3. There's the y-intercept. Slope says go up 1 over 2. That's a little bit iffy. That was kind of too high, I think. Something like that. There's our line. Now what transformations are happening to our radical function? Okay, so you guys agree with Kyle, left 12? So if you tell me left 12, you're doing pretty good for this class, but you're not yet ready for advanced math. Because it's inside and it's plus, and that means left, so that's good. Yeah? This is a sneaky transformation, though. Something else is affecting that 12. 6 is also affecting that 12. So you have to do what inside to truly see the transformations here, guys? Factor, yeah. Gotta say x plus 2. And we'll check it in our calculator here in a second, make sure we know what we're talking about here, right? But you've got to factor that sneaky transformation. So I'm not going to put stuff like that on your exam probably, but that's the next level. Yeah, you've got to be able to recognize things like that without being told. So this is left by 2. I'm going to draw my guy in red here, okay? So left by 2, what kind of shape for square roots? You guys draw it in the air for me? Your finger?
It's not
Okay,
a
good.
snake.
So something like this. And that's left by 2. Remember, is this horizontal or vertical? It's horizontal because it's inside. Now the trickiest part. Is it a stretch or a compression?
Stretch.
So you're thinking multiply because multiply means stretch, right? But inside is
The opposite.
opposite. So it's horizontally compressed. So it's going to be like up more, I think, something like that. So just eyeballing it, what do you guys think? Does this have 2 answers or not?
Yeah.
It does look like it has 2 answers. Those probably both work. Let's use our calculator and have it check this and see if we get the same things with it, okay? So you can, of course, use your calculator to check a bunch of your answers if you're unsure about one in your homework. I'm fine with that. But you should practice graphing these by hand a little bit too, so I'll leave it to you. 6x plus 12. We'll see if that does indeed go left by only 2. So I'm going to zoom standard. Looks like it went left by 2.
Oh, she's got 2 answers.
And I see one answer. Let's calculate. What should I calculate to find the answer? Intersection. This looks good. I mean, we said it was negative 0.9, right? So I'm going left, right, guess. Negative 0.928. There it is. And from our graph, we can't see another intersection. Does it look like there might be one over at 12 something though?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could go ahead and go over there and calculate it if you wanted to as well. Okay? So I'm thinking, yes, we got 2 answers. There you go.